So before I go any further, I've got to turn the power off because I want to double check to see where these studs are. Got my little wire tester here, and I know this power's on. And I look at that, move this around a little bit, and I got an orange light here, okay? Sometimes if you put this in, like right there, I got it pushed in, nothing happens. If I just move this around a little bit, then the light will go on. Okay, so make sure, if you ever use a tester and you put it in the first time and nothing's happening, wiggle it around a little bit because you want to make sure that you get the right circuit breaker when you want to shut this power off. I'm pretty sure I got the right breaker. Now I can use my tester again, wiggle that up and down, nothing's happening. You don't have to have one of these testers. You could plug a lamp in there. Just make sure the lamp works before you plug it in there, and make sure that it's not attached to a light switch to where the light switch is off and you plug it in there and maybe the top of the plug is hot all the time and the bottom is connected to a light switch. You plug it in there and then you forget and you put it in down where the light switch is connected and the light switch is turned off, and you come back down here and the light's off. You know what I mean? So be careful with that. And then also you can plug in a radio there. You can plug in an electric drill that has an extension cord on it. Anything like that, a drop light, whatever. Last thing you want is just to make an assumption and not check it out properly, because you don't want to start working on that plug with it being hot. You learned anything so far? I think you have. All right, now I'm gonna probe around, and I'm pretty sure there's a stud right there. Now I probably could have taken the cable out. This is for the cable TV. And I could have taken that out and poked in that way, and then I wouldn't have had to turn the breaker off. You know, but I had to find that out anyways, because eventually I got to tap into this plug to run power up there, right? But for right now, I'm just going to poke in behind the sheetrock at an angle like this. I've got a 16 penny nail here, and I should be able to hit a stud if it's in there. There it is. Now I got to pull it out. Try it again. See that? Right there. If you got any questions, you can try over here. Generally, if you hit a stud there, though, there's not going to be a stud right there, right? See that? You put the nail in all the way, and there's nothing there. Okay? I measured over. I pulled this out. This is a telephone, so you just got to be real careful with that. And from center to center, 16 is over there. So another stud should be there if this wall was laid out 16-inch centers. And most walls are. It's very seldom do you see 24-inch centers, but don't make any assumptions because I'm not at your place. So I don't want to make an assumption and tell you wrong. That's why you got to probe on your own. See if we can find this one. There it is. Pull that back out. You got any questions? Check over here. See why I got to have the cover plate off? Because I'm doing all this on the back side. And I can put the cover plate back on there. No marks at all, right? Look at that. Push it all the way in. That nail's all the way back in there. Okay, so I know there's no stud there. So I'm making the assumption that the rest of the wall is on 16-inch centers. Okay, so I can measure over on that for the next one if I didn't have a stud finder, right? My stud finder's kind of on the blink, but I'm gonna mark over because I've got to go that way a little bit because the TV's not perfectly straight up and down from here. Do you remember? It's over to the right a little bit further. But at least I've done my homework here. And if I don't take this cover plate off, which I don't think I'm going to right now, but I know that the stud is 1.5 inches thick. Okay, so 3/4 of an inch is where the center of that is, right? And 3/4 of an inch over from the edge of this box, not from the edge of the cover plate, because lots of times the cover plate sticks over, you know, 1/4 inch or so. I want to try to get the center of those studs so that when I transfer it up the wall, I'm going to be really super close to the center. Then I'll have to do some more probing up there. Okay? You can do it. I know you can. I've got a mark up here where the center of that TV is. If I measure over from where I know this stud is, just first off, I'm going to make the assumption, I haven't checked it out yet, but I've got a pretty good idea there's going to be a stud right there. If I stand there and look at that and go straight up here, you know, that is almost perfectly in line with the center of the TV. Okay, so I don't know if that's such a good thing or not. Let's just take a look, and we've got to go through a little thought process here. See what we can do. That's the center of the TV. Okay? Now, you might think, oh, okay, just put the bracket right in the center like that. Well, I can't do that, can I? Because it's only 8 inches from here over. So, that means I'm going to have my bracket assembly like from there to the right, because that's where the holes are, right? Or I'm going to have to come this way. And once I have this, if I have it over here, let's say, remember the arm up here will swivel over to a little bit, and the TV, the center of the TV could be about right there. Then I'll have to slide on the back side of the TV over, all the way over, so that I can take the TV and scoot it that way, right? I would rather do that because going that way is where the dining room is. So see, if I was like right here, I could still make the middle of the TV because the swivel would be slid over a little bit. I could take this arm that goes on here, flip it over this way, and then push it over even further. But remember, if I do that, what's going to happen? The TV is going to be about here. When you come walking in from the main door, you're going to see this bracket assembly sticking out to the right side of the TV. I don't want that, do I? That's why you got to think about your project. Because if I have it over here, this may pooch out beyond the TV, but yet I don't think it's going to. But even if it does, I really don't have much choice with that. But there's a door over here, a back door. So it's only about 5 or 6 feet away from this edge. So when people come walking in and they see the nice TV, they're not going to see this bracket assembly sticking out beyond it. You follow? So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of look at the whole assembly on the back side of the TV to convince myself this is where I want to put it. Oh man, look at all the stuff we got to do to figure this out, but hey, I didn't say it was going to be totally easy, did I? Alright, take this, and anybody else is going to have to do the same thing, by the way. If you're paying somebody, they got to go through the same thought process. Okay, remember, this is going to be over that way, so if I were to put this right like that, the TV is going to be sticking over to the left even further. I want that TV to stick over to the right as far as possible. Okay? So first off, I would take this and swivel it over this way, like that. Okay? Now I've already got that over that far, right? Then I'm going to have to look at this and see. Remember, I got to bolt it at the top and the bottom, and in the diagram it said to do that within this amount. But maybe I could slide it over even further. So I'm going to have to look at that too and make a judgment call on that. I guess I better look at those brackets. In fact, you know, I think this can slide over like that. So I've got to figure out exactly where I want to put this. Then I've got to look at this and see on the back side of the TV where I want that to be slid, because ultimately it would be nice for me not only to cover the right side, but I also want to cover the left side of the TV too. You know what I mean? So I got some more measuring to do, don't I?